coming to you live from the MediaPlex in downtown Windsor. This is a presentation of St. Clair College Journalism.
Good evening. I'm Sahas Fahani and you are watching MediaPlex News now. Despite only a 30% turnout for the election, Windsor and Essex County has spoken. Mackenzie Adams reports on the results.
Anticipation grew last night as the election results slowly rolled in. Drew Dilkins has been re-elected for a third term as Windsor's mayor. Dilkins won 52% of the Windsor vote and said he believes the city is on the right track.
To all of the candidates here tonight who put their names forward for ward races across the city, even for mayor, everyone put their heart and their soul into their campaigns, and I want to commend you and certainly show respect and appreciation for all of your efforts to foster the dialogue and the debate that our democracy relies on.
Dilkins' agenda is new infrastructure, recreational amenities, improved roads, expanding public transit, and investments to end basement flooding. Dilkins said Windsor will continue to see great investments throughout the city.
And when I have said in the campaign that I'm more optimistic about the future of our city today than I was on the first day in office, that's not just a campaign statement. I really believe that.
Dilkins' top competing candidate, Chris Holt, conceded to Dilkins before the votes were confirmed.
I'm not going to win the election. Yeah, I know what the numbers are, and so I know moving forward that I will not be mayor of the city, so I get to retire from city council, and I get to go off and have a vacation. I get to go do other things. So that is what my future.
Holt says he isn't going anywhere and will be sharing his thoughts with the city. I am Mackenzie Adams for MediaPlex News.
We sent Jay Tongley over to the St. Clair Center for the Arts to find out some reaction from some St. Clair students.
I don't necessarily care about politics. I mean, he's the same mayor we had for like the past couple of years now, so I'm not really upset, but I don't necessarily care much about it.
I'm gonna be honest, I don't even know who won.
I'm pretty happy. I think that it was a very low turnout. I know only 30% of Windsor voted, which is pretty low. So I think that the right decision was made by those 30%. So I'm definitely happy.
Crime Stoppers is one of our community partners. Let's hear from Constable Sarah Werstein for our weekly update.
Police services within Windsor and Essex County are actively investigating several incidents involving the grandparent scam. The grandparent or emergency scam has several iterations, however, it generally works like this. Suspects will contact seniors or family members claiming that their grandchild or family member was in an accident and is being charged with an offense such as impaired driving or drug offenses. Suspects will claim that they are law enforcement officials, lawyers, or even will impersonate the grandchild or family member. They will advise the victim that a payment for bail, legal fees, or a fine is required immediately in order for the family member to avoid going to jail. This deeply concerning trend has suspects obtaining the victim's address and physically attending the residence to collect the funds, posing as a courier or representative of the court. Investigators are urging people to speak to their loved ones about the grandparent scam and other common scams. Educating them is the best way to prevent victimization. The Canadian Anti-Fraud Centre website is a great resource to keep up to date on current scams. If you have any information on those responsible for these scams, you can call Crime Stoppers anonymously at 519-258-TIPS or submit a tip online at catchbrooks.com. I'm Police Coordinator Sarah Werstein.
Halloween vibes were in the air at Tecumseh Mall over the weekend, where kids got an early taste of the spooky season. Mahak Nahar brings us the story.
Tecumseh Mall and Slash Italia collaborated to produce broomsticks and brushes in support of Crime Stoppers. Participants were urged to give $10 towards the cost of painting pumpkin pottery in exchange for a free reusable swag bag, including gift cards worth between $10 and $20 from partnering merchants. This event was a celebration of Halloween, bringing out 60 people, according to Dennis Paloccia, Program Manager for Windsor and Essex County Crime Stoppers.
So kids and their parents can come in and they can paint this little pumpkin and then they can take it home at the end. So it's in celebration of Halloween. It's a lot of fun. We're urging people to come out. It's a great cause and it's a lot of fun for Halloween.
Some did face painting as a fun activity and some children painted little pumpkins. Mohammed Sousa, the Vice President of Crime Stoppers, said it is a good way to interact with people.
We have some raffles, so the kids are able to show up and paint some of these smaller little pumpkins here, and everyone's been having a great time so far. So I think it's been very enjoyable, and it's good for us to connect with community members. And
This event continues today between 1 a.m. and 5 p.m. For the MediaPlex News, I'm Mahek Nahar.
Let's head outside where Zachary Balog is standing by with a look at our current weather conditions. Zach?
What a difference a week makes, Soha. Currently it is 20 degrees. So when will this all come to an end, and will we have some midnight rain? Those answers coming up in the full forecast later on in the show. Back to you.
Crime is on the rise in Windsor. Manavi Shetty asked the community if they feel safe in their neighborhoods.
Over the past week, Windsor has seen a rise of crime in neighborhoods. Do Windsorites feel safe here? Do students feel safe in downtown? We asked St. Clair students about this.
I think days will very safe according to night as compared to night. Yeah.
I don't feel safe enough downtown. I feel like there could be measures taken by council and city services, but other than that, downtown campus, I feel safe enough to be on campus.
According to Number.com, the crime index in Windsor has reached 67.09, and many feel walking alone at night is getting riskier. I am Manavi Shetty from MediaPlex News.
It seemed the apocalypse has passed through town. Kayla Tarnowski had the story.
Where is my zombie horde?
This past weekend, zombies took over Windsor's streets to raise money for a good cause. The Windsor Zombie Walk has run nearly every year since its start in 2006, only stopping once in 2020 for the COVID-19 pandemic. The walk helps a lot of charities with the aid of many volunteers. Disco Jesus Windsor, a drag queen who made their start in Windsor, just started volunteering this year and says that the Zombie Walk lets its participants be themselves.
My favorite part about Zombie Walk is the freedom of expression, feeling comfortable and safe to express something that should be acceptable all year round, that we are all here because we have a little bit of a freak flag inside of us.
According to the walk organizer, Captain Hind Grinder, the group was hoping to donate about $1,000 and a few £100 of food to the downtown mission.
That's right, shamble on it. Get close.
From MediaPlex News, I'm Kayla Tarnowski.
The walking deck took over Windsor's street this weekend for a good cause. Rawat Kansoon reports.
Windsor Zombie Walk is a fun free event that takes place each year, providing funds and non-perishable for zombie-themed charity, helping people in need. This event is organized by Windsor Scare House, where zombies and survivors walk from McDougal Street to Jackson Park. Participants are encouraged to donate what they can.
We do it every year. We partnered up with the Windsor Zombie Walk, I want to say in 2018. We had 1 year off during the pandemic, but we've been keeping it going ever since. This is what we end up having when we organize it properly. We have a good turnout like this.
The Walking Dead gathered at 5:30 in the Scare House yard. Kids and families dressed like brides, clowns, soldiers, and nuns. Some spending hours doing makeup.
A little bit about some of the work that goes into this. I spend about 5 hours on this makeup. I wake up pretty early just to get all this done. It's a pretty lengthy process, starting with the latex and then doing all the blood and the makeup to go onto it. And then I come out here and just have some fun.
Jerry Wilsey spent 5 hours in his bride costume.
It's a little nervous, I guess, being my first time, but it's the first time I'd ever done the skin effect, and just got the outfit Value Village for $13 and added some paint and stuff to it. And
organizers say it was such a hit, they will no doubt host another zombie walk in 2023. For the MediaPlex News, I am Rawat Kansoon.
Halloween is only a couple of weeks away, and if you're looking for an adrenaline rush, Scare House Windsor may be just what you're looking for. Donat Aqua reports.
At the corner of McDougal and Shepherd Street is where people go to get an adrenaline rush and maybe even face some of their fears. 14 years of evolution have created a fully indoor, multi-room warehouse where nightmares come to life. These two braved their fears and toured the haunt for the first time.
It was very dark. It was very dark, and the actors were excellent.
Actors are very professional, makeup's phenomenal.
Young Yo enjoyed the experience but wasn't too scared.
It just scared my friends over there because I was in front, so you know.
How scary was it?
Scary.
Really scary.
Like make you scream?
A couple of times, yes. Very, very scary.
Catch you off guard.
I haven't had the nerve to go through yet.
It's very dark. Some places, when the light shines in your eyes, it takes a second for your eyes to adjust, but afterwards, you're feeling your way along. You can't tell which way to go.
They did a really good job. This is excellent. I only went through one, and we still have 3 left.
For more information about tickets and showtime, go to their website at scarehousewindsor.com. The final show will be on Halloween night. I'm Donna Tuckwell for MediaPlex News.
It was a door-open event, so we sent Camp Pastor Sean to just walk right in. Let's watch.
Here I am at the corner of Kildare Road and St. Mary's Gate. It was for the Doors Open Windsor Walkerville Homes tour a couple of weeks ago. The neighborhood was designed as a garden city where streets and houses are built around trees.
What Doors Open means to me is a greater connection for the city of Windsor to its history. The city's growing, but we need to know what direction to go, and we can learn so many lessons from the past right here just walking around in our community.
At the turn of the 20th century, St. Mary's Anglican Church was also a beacon along the Detroit River. The architecture of the clock tower is Gothic. The rectory architecture is Tudor style. Albert Kahn, the architect of Willisted Manor, also designed this home for one of Hiram Walker's grandkids. This colonial Massachusetts-style home also has a coach house for horseless carriages. Imagine touring in a Ford Model T and seeing this Spanish-style stucco home built for Hiram Walker's bookkeeper, or this 1904 Edwardian-style home along Kildare built for the town magistrate. Next door is Cobbles, which was made of fieldstones gathered around the neighborhood. This 10-bedroom house with a balcony has a historic marker. Like many homes in the neighborhood, this one has ironwork fencing and plenty of windows providing natural light for libraries. Albert Kahn designed this home for the town CIBC bank manager, like many of his town halls. This Jacobean Gamble-style home, also designed by Kahn, was built for the manager of the Walkerville Brewery, another historic marker. Many of Walkerville's homes and buildings were designed by this famed Detroit industrial architect. For the MediaPlex News, I'm Ken Pastushin.
It's time to look at our forecast, so let's go down to Zachary Bullock. Zach, what does the forecast have in store for us?
Well, Soha, this warm weather really is something else, but I guess I gotta be the anti-hero to tell you what's coming up in our 3-day forecast. Wednesday, there will be some showers and a high of 17. Thursday, drying out, sunny and 13. Friday, a mix of sun and clouds and a high of 14. And next week, cloudy and a little bit chilly, but don't expect any snow on the beach yet. Back to you, Soha.
Youth business is alive and well. Lori Harrison tells the story of two who are making a difference in our community.
Imagine kids on the streets. Imagine it. It's heartbreaking. It really is.
But they're not causing trouble. Far from it.
My name is Maya Michael, and I've fundraised for 6 years now.
At an age when most kids look to adults for help and guidance, some kids in Essex County are walking into local organizations with bags and bags of socks, cases of food, care packages for winter, and thousands of dollars to help the most vulnerable in our community.
It makes me so happy to know that I've benefited someone in their life.
At 7 years old, Maya never really knew what poor could look like until her young eyes caught the sight of a desperate man looking for food.
I saw a man looking in the garbage and I was devastated. And when I saw the man, it was like a huge kaboom in my head, these people actually exist.
Broken-hearted, Maya asked her father to buy him a hamburger, so he did. That still didn't satisfy her. She wanted to do more. As she looked down at her apple slices in her Happy Meal, she knew she could.
Then I said, well, I have apples at home. I can always eat apples, but how about this poor man? He doesn't get these kind of healthy fruits.
So Maya gave him the apples and decided that she was going to do something to make a difference.
I started thinking about it and I said, why don't we do a lemonade stand to help these people?
She came up with a plan, gathered some friends, and got corporate sponsors to support her.
McDonald's had orange juice for us. Silverstein donated lemons. Fred's Farm Fresh donated lemons. And then, so the lemons, we hand squeezed ourselves at home. We were about 20 kids and each one on a table trying to squeeze the lemons by hands. It was a lot of work, but it's worth it.
Over the past 5 years, Maya's friends became a group of young philanthropists who have embarked on a mission to change the world, one glass of lemonade at a time. They have raised tens of thousands of dollars and collected thousands of canned goods so far.
It's good to take the generous and helpful path because it's not only helping them, but it's also a learning experience for yourself.
Maya is best known for her annual lemonade stand, but her charity goes far beyond the lemonade. She and her group help anyone they feel needs awareness, funds, and companionship.
Like any day, I'll just be sitting around and I'll be like, today I want to make a difference, and I'll call someone and I'll tell them, we're ready to do something. We're ready to help you guys.
Kids continue to join Maya's friends. Some have gone off to do their own thing, and others have started helping causes in Essex County, such as We Care for Kids. Mostly funded by corporate donors, We Care for Kids started harnessing the power of youth philanthropy. They recently implemented a child-run lemonade campaign, the Lemonade Brigade, that raised $20,000 last year.
It's such a powerful image when you see little kids out there either setting up lemonade stands or hot chocolate stands.
We Care for Kids is not the only organization recognizing the contributions from children. Christine Wilson Furlonger from Street Help says, "You cannot put a price on the contributions made by children." She is proud of their efforts.
It's very important for the children in our community to get involved. The real reason is once they start understanding philanthropy at such a young age, it's going to carry with them for the rest of their lives.
According to Maya, the biggest obstacles children face is lack of support, especially from parents.
Adults have to support the youth fundraisers because if it's not them that support us, who's gonna support us?
Liz Bacon, a recent recipient of the Mayor's Award for Fundraising, has been organizing events for years. Her superhero takeover raises tens of thousands of dollars every year at its sold-out events for cystic fibrosis. Bacon was more than thrilled to introduce and mentor her son Joey in philanthropy when he showed interest at the age of 5.
My name is Joey Nemi, and I've been fundraising for 5 years. The person who got me involved in fundraising was my mom.
Joey has been on the planning committee for the superhero takeover for 5 years, gaining experience and learning what it takes to put on a fundraiser.
I asked her if I could be a part of it, and she said, for sure.
After a recent diagnosis of epilepsy, Joey has now added a second fundraising committee to his resume, organizing and speaking at walks and raising money.
We're helping them so we could collect money to give it to the charity. We help raise money and spread awareness.
Bowling shoes on his feet, Joey picks up his ball, walks up to the line, and releases, waiting to see if all the pins fall down at the annual Strikeout Epilepsy event. Among the bowlers are familiar faces from Joey's previous events. They gather to find support in each other. Many of these bowlers know Joey and have heard him tell his story in public before.
I did a speech. There's like a ton of people at the Epilepsy Rock. Like a lot of families were walking and running for their son or daughter or mother who have epilepsy.
Joey is proud to hand over those checks.
You're just like, how much money did you get from that?
Youth in Essex County are finding creative ways to support the causes they believe in. Charities are blown away at their efforts, and members of Parliament are recognizing these young philanthropists with awards.
When people come into my office and they need help, I know that there are people out in the community, young people, who are doing this work to help them.
I think the most important thing that I get out of this is learning that others are not always as fortunate as us, and we have to help them. I want every kid to realize that we can make a difference in the future because we are the future. So if everyone
For MediaPlex News, I'm Lori Harrison.
The Capitol Theatre has a long, rich history in the city. Rawat Kansoon reports.
The Capitol Theatre is a historic theatre in Windsor. It opened in 1920 and recently celebrated 100 years of history of performing arts. Capitol Theatre is the largest single-floor theatre in Canada, with 1,995 seats. It is now a performing arts center owned by the City of Windsor, but operated by the Windsor Symphony Orchestra.
The theater, when it first opened, would play vaudeville stage productions at the beginning, and then transition to showing cinema. On the opening night, the theater had everything from singers, comedians, a sharpshooter on stage, and then actually showed a Buster Keaton short film. So all in one day. So they kind of did a little bit of everything.
Later, through the years, famous players had ownership of the building, doing some renovations to change the layout from one space into 3 separate spaces that still exist today.
Over 100 years now, everybody who comes into this theater has wonderful memories. People in our community, people who have performed here or have worked here in the past. And so for the 100th anniversary celebration of the theater, which was in 2020, we decided to launch this Memories campaign. It's an initiative to invite the community to share their favorite memories of the Capitol Theater so we can archive them for internal use, and also to do a community message board.
Gali says people can share their memories, which will be showcased during a community event in the new year.
A lot of people love to share their memories of the theater, and we have a couple of gems that we're holding on to unveil at our February event. But there are some children and grandchildren of people who worked here in the 40s, for example, and they've captured those memories and have shared them with us.
The Capitol Theatre is a treasure that will remain a witness to many beautiful occasions and will be immortal in many people's memories. For the MediaPlex News, I am Rawat Kansoon.
Did you know is a segment where Zach Ballock takes you out to see what Windsor and the county has to offer. Let's watch.
Located in Old Sandwich Town is a house full of history and mystery. So what is the story behind one of Windsor's most historic houses? I'll tell you in this edition of Did You Know? The Duff Bobby House was built here in 1798 by Alexander Duff. According to heritagetrust.ca, the Duff Bobby House spent 9 years as a fur trading operation. Politician James Bobby bought the house in 1807, and it is reported that Bobby hosted a dinner attended by the great Shawnee Chief Tecumseh in 1812. The Bobby House has also experienced some paranormal presences. Matt Pritchard, the education coordinator for Museum Windsor, discussed with me some of those hauntings.
I've worked, honestly, a few night bookings here and stuff with different paranormal investigators. None of them happened to come across a dog on the times I was here, but definitely a little boy. And they did actually find a few spirits passing in and out of here. And they did find one that felt kind of dark.
The more you know. For MediaPlex News, I'm Zachary Balog.
St. Clair College's open house will be Saturday, November 12th from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Join us at the MediaPlex to see the programs we have to offer. But for now, let's have a look at the people who study and work here.
Journalism enables people to be well informed. It's documenting history. It's an extraordinary way for people to be connected with their community.
What happens in the world affects us. What happens in our community affects us. What happens in the province affects us. And we get to be the eyes and ears and tell the stories. There are many stories that need to be told, and those things add value to our life.
It's neat to know that so many people are relying on me. It makes you strive for
perfection or makes you strive for accuracy.
The journalism program here at St. Clair College is a convergence journalism program. Convergence means the merging together of print, radio, and television, and the web, and putting all different stories into 3 or 4 different platforms.
I can go out now and I can understand how to write a print. I know how to do social media. I can shoot a video. So you start to trust yourself and to use your journalistic skills.
In 21st century newsrooms, journalists have to be able to do it all.
We ask every one of our reporters to tell stories in multiple ways.
There's a different style of writing for print than there is for radio, than there is for television. And it's really important that the information gets out that is true to those platforms.
We are one of the few, if not the only, program that is actually taking students to a live broadcast and giving them that opportunity and that experience.
I want to be a journalist because I think I like to listen other stories.
午间好，这里是媒体综合新闻节目，我是谭一丹，欢迎收
I
看
find。that the students that come out of St. Clair College are already at or above where some of our broadcast employees have been over the last several years.
I feel that I made the greatest decision I could by choosing this program because I have learned so much and I think that I can only grow from here.
I would hands down recommend the program to someone considering it. I would recommend it to someone that's not even considering it. They teach you such a vast array of different skills, different platforms, different things that you could really apply to so many different careers.
Based on literally hundreds of interns I've seen over the years, St. Clair students are better prepared to go into the work environment in media than most students coming out of colleges and universities across North America.
I think it's that very comprehensive curriculum that we have that creates converged journalists that sets this journalism school apart.
Thanks for tuning in. I'm Sahas Fahani and you've been watching MediaPlex News Now.
MediaPlex News Now is a production of the St. Clair College Journalism Program.
It's always been my passion to be part of a news team. I love the adrenaline rush of being there when news is breaking. I wanted to learn how to get the story and know how to present it on radio, in print, on television, or the web. I wanted to learn from the best, and I did at St. Clair College.